Hi, goddesses. Happy Taurus full moon. If you've been feeling like something deep inside of you is ready to completely transform, to shift, but you don't know what it is, this video is going to change everything for you. Right now, we're in the middle of a supermoon in Taurus happening right now during the deep, dark depths of Scorpio season. And I'm about to show you exactly how to use this energy to do shadow work that will literally shift your entire reality. Okay, so make sure you watch to the end. But first, let's talk about this full moon in Taurus and what's going on here exactly. So this full moon is happening on November 9th at 8:19 a.m. Eastern Time, happening at 13 degrees of Taurus. So you might want to go ahead and check where Taurus falls in your own birth chart to get even more details of how this super full moon might be impacting you personally. For all of us, regardless of our birth chart, the themes of Taurus and then also Scorpio, since it's Scorpio season, are going to be highlighted in our lives under this full moon. So what are those key themes? With Taurus energy, there's a really big focus on comfort, luxury, stability, and security, or lack thereof. You might even be feeling called out of where parts of your life are not feeling stable, where parts of your life are not feeling financially secure. You might be feeling motivated to go and shift or change or evolve some of those areas of your life. That might be something that's really highlighted under this Taurus full moon. Issues of peace, beauty, grounding. Taurus also rules over money and finances and your actual physical material possessions. Also, Taurus rules over our relationships and our self-worth. And that might be a really big theme under this Taurus full moon as well. How are your relationships functioning? How is your self-value, your self-worth currently functioning in your life? How are you talking to yourself? Are you speaking with confidence and self-value? Or is your inner critic high at the moment? There's also maybe some themes of connection to nature and also to your physical body that might be happening at this time. Overall, this full moon is really illuminating what's hidden in your consciousness and your subconsciousness and bringing completion in some way to what may have began during April's new moon in Taurus, during Taurus season. So you can even look back to what has occurred since April in your life, and there might be some completion happening here. A big key message for everyone at this time is examining what you've been clinging to for safety that no longer serves you. Taurus is a sign that likes stability, likes consistency, likes things to stay the same. And sometimes with a lot of Taurus energy, we can get stagnant and we can hold on to relationships, jobs, ways of being, ways of eating, whatever, much longer than we should just because we're in our comfort zone. You know, comfort zone is a big keyword for Taurus energy. And so this full moon might be showing you where it's time to step out of your comfort zone, to step out of patterns that are comfortable, but that are no longer serving your next evolution. Okay, so have a think about what that might be for you in your life. This full moon is returning you to your foundation. It's directing you back into yourself. It's taking a look at what you need to stabilize in your life. Again, whether that's finances, relationships, your purpose, a sense of being. And this is also a time of assessing our core and our strength during times of big change and uncertainty. We know there is so much change and so much happening right now in the world. And for us to be okay over these next few years, it's really about strengthening our core, strengthening our connection to source, to spirit, to God. And what are the practices and embodiment that you have in your life currently to keep you connected to your core, to keep you connected to source, to keep you connected to your strength, to God, to your ancestors, to your spirit guides, to your team? How are you staying strong and stable while the winds of change are whipping around all of us? That is a key question. And so, this full moon is really asking you to ground yourself and, some very easy ways to ground. Walk outside, Even if it's cold where you are right now, if the weather's not great, if it's raining or chilly, even just taking, a 10, 15, 20-minute walk outside in nature, touching the trees around you, hugging the trees around you, maybe connecting with a beloved pet, maybe cat, dog, hamster, whatever that is in your life. These are all ways, again, because Taurus rules over the physical world around us, the table in front of you, your favorite cat. My cat's over here. Lily, she always comes around. I'm making these videos. Your favorite tree in your favorite park. This is really a time to ground into the physical world around you with this Taurus energy. Okay. A few other things I wanted to highlight as far as major astrological aspects that are going on. Without getting too deeply into the weeds, just know that right now Venus is in Libra, the very, very last series of Libra, squaring both Pluto and Jupiter. And so this can create tension in three key areas in your life potentially. Relationships. Are your current relationships balanced and nourishing, or are they out of balance? Are they built on controlling, fixing, proving yourself to others? Is there more? Are you giving more and they're taking more? Is that out of balance? Relationships could be a key focus at this time. Again, self-worth, the second area. Do you feel valuable just for existing? Or are you feeling like you constantly need to prove yourself and that you're only worth something when you're being productive and when you're achieving? That is a big question under this Taurus full moon. And then the third area of life is money, abundance, finances. Both Taurus and Scorpio rule over money. And if you are a member of my Bloom Collective, my monthly moon membership, we meet every new and full moon. You guys know that our next new moon, we're going to be talking a lot about money and finances and investing because we're in Scorpio season and Scorpio is one of the money signs, as is Taurus. So if currently in your life, money, finances, investment, value in that way has become an issue, maybe you're killing it right now with bringing in money and your next up level is actually learning how to expand that wealth by learning more investment basics, learning how to invest in the stock market, maybe putting something aside in a 401k, or maybe your money's not where you want it to be right now, and maybe you're investigating, finding a side hustle, getting a promotion at your current job, finding a new job, maybe even moving somewhere else where there are more opportunities for you. All of these things are possibilities under this Taurus full moon energy during Scorpio season. Note also that because this full moon is also making some aspects to the North Node in Pisces and the South Node in Virgo, those are karmic points that are related to the position of the moon. And the fact that this full moon is making aspects to the nodes, this encourages us to release perfectionism and control. That's very South North Node and Virgo theme, and also encouraging us to support, trust, and surrender and having faith that what is meant for me will not pass me by, and what is happening in my life is for me. That's North Node and Pisces themes. This full moon, in a lot of ways, is really rooted in faith and destiny. And just a little bit more. I talked to you in the beginning about how this Scorpio season is going to be all about shadow work and how you can do some shadow work under this Taurus full moon to really just key in and align with this energy. What is shadow work? I think on the internet we talk a lot about shadow work, what is shadow work, things like that, but I feel like a lot of people don't even actually realize what shadow work is. And even for myself, when I first started diving into the spiritual world years ago, when I heard about shadow work, it sounded like something that was scary or something that I didn't want to do or something that, created fear within me. Maybe it was, looking at the evil parts of yourself or something. I just didn't really know what it was. And then it finally clicked for me what shadow work was when I learned that shadow work is actually all about not looking at what is like wrong or evil with you, but it's about looking at those parts of yourself that you've abandoned, the parts of yourself that you hide, the parts of yourself that you feel shame for, or you think it's not worthy of love, or the parts of yourself that you don't show to your best friends, to your partner, your lover, your parents, because you received a message at some point, either in your childhood or in some part of your life, that this part of you was wrong or bad or unlovable. So it's a part of ourselves, a genuine part of ourselves that we hide from others. That's what your shadow is. So for instance, let's say you have a big sweet tooth and you love treats and goodies and candies and things like that. But as a child, maybe your mother shamed you for liking sweets and taught you that that was like wrong or bad. And so maybe you're someone that like eats sweets, you know, at night when nobody else is around. You hide sweets in your pantry. You eat desserts and like hide it from people. Don't let them know that you're eating them. That's an example of a shadow. Or another example of a shadow is maybe you naturally are like a super jokey person. You're a trickster. You love to play around, but maybe you grew up and were raised in your family of origin where everyone was really serious and very stoic and very academic and intellectual. And you received the message over and over again that your sense of humor, that your jokey side was embarrassing or ashamed to the family or not something that was appropriate to show in social situations. So you learn to hide this lighthearted, jovial aspect of yourself and you show up in one way, maybe very stoic, very steadfast, very, staid, but maybe in reality, you have this like killer sense of humor that nobody gets to see because you were taught to hide that part of yourself. That's literally what your shadow is. It doesn't always have to be something crazy like, you know, crazy sexuality things or, whatever we think a shadow is. It can literally just be what is this part of yourself that you hide from others because you received the message that this part of you was not worth showing and that was unlovable? What's a part of you that you hide even from your partner and your best friend because you worry that if you were honest and showed up authentically and true to yourself, that they would not love you, that they would judge you, that they might walk away from you? That is your shadow. And the reason why shadow work is so important, especially during Scorpio season, because Scorpio season is all about shining light on the shadow, is that when we have a lot of ourselves that we hide away, that is put in the closet with our skeletons, that is a shadow, then we are not showing up with our full energy. And if we're trying to manifest a better life, manifest a better job, manifest more money, manifest love, manifest partnership, manifest travel, whatever it is that you're trying to create in your life, if half of you is hidden and locked away, then you are literally not available. You don't have as much energy available to create what it is that you're trying to create in your life. The more authentically that you can show up as a holistic, integrated version of you, the more energy that you literally have to create what it is that you're trying to create in your life. Again, if you're the humorous person that doesn't allow themselves to tell a joke, how are you going to create a life that you love, that is in alignment with your soul, with your heart, with your womb, when you're hiding this part of yourself? And again, no shame because we all have shadow, and sometimes our shadow protects us, and sometimes our shadow is a learned defense for us. And so we all have shadow, and shadow's a process. It's not like you do shadow work one time and then never again, and then you're perfect and whole and fully integrated the rest of your life. That's not how it works. However, it is helpful to do shadow work every once in a while so that you can really see what part of yourselves that you are denying, what part of yourself that you are feeling shame for, and where you are literally leaking life force energy by hiding this part of yourself. And then in that integration, you make your own energy stronger and more authentic and more able to create a life that is in alignment with you and your actual desires and your actual dreams. That's why shadow work is so, so, so important. And remembering that Scorpio is seeking truth, truth under the surface, right? Scorpio season's all about understanding more of who we truly are. Scorpio season is all about looking at long-term patterns, habits, or unconscious areas of the self. A lot of people that have very strong Scorpio placements might be psychologists, psychotherapists, healers of some sort, shamans, even surgeons. They have this very deep healer energy because Scorpio energy is all about getting to the root cause of something and healing, transforming pain into beauty or love, alchemy. Scorpio is a sign of high, high magic as well. Really, you think about the old-timey alchemists, like the Philosopher's Stone and things like that. They talk about turning lead into gold. That alchemy is very scorpionic. And so that's what we're talking about in Scorpio season when we're talking about shining a light on our own shadow so that we can turn that pain that we felt of hiding who we truly are and hiding what we're truly about and hiding our true personality and integrating that into ourselves for a fuller sense of wholeness, turning that lead into gold. Okay, so that's what that's all about. Something else that Scorpio season is really about is doing an energy assessment, asking us to examine how am I merging my energy with others? Am I merging my energy with others? Or am I keeping complete boundaries and keeping my energy to myself? How am I sharing my energy? Am I sharing my energy in a really healthy, holistic way? Or is there some codependency or other things going on right now? Where is my energy going outside of myself? Where is my energy perhaps even leaking? That can be a question that we ask ourselves during Scorpio season. And then asking, is our energy on a day-to-day basis, knowing that there will be natural ebbs and flows and ups and downs, is my energy generally empowering and regenerative, or is my energy drained? Do I wake up feeling exhausted? Do I wake up feeling like I can never get enough energy during the day? Am I sucking down coffee or caffeine on a daily basis just to get through my day to day because I am running on a consistent energy deficit? These are all questions that Scorpio season wants us to ask ourselves about our own energy management. Or how is our energy? What's the quality of it? Is it light? Is it jovial? Is it blissful? Is it joyful? Is it fun? Is it sexy? Is it seductive? Or is my energy heavy? Is it draining me down? Am I walking in an aura of depression or anxiety? What is my mood like? These can all be questions that are pertinent during Scorpio season because also remembering that because Scorpio is a water sign, Scorpio is all about emotions and our emotional management. So that can also be something that a light is shown on during Scorpio season of how are you managing your emotions? That is a really big one for us. Okay, so let's now talk about shadow work. Okay, let's get deep into shadow work. This is the part that I promised you guys. I'm going to give you guys a few different techniques to do that have to do with shadow work. And you can either do them all, you can choose your favorite one, whatever works for you. So, first, let me just paint a picture of what's happening with shadow work, the cosmic setup right now. Imagine a tree. You know, your life is the tree, and you see the beautiful branches and the leaves and the trunk. That's your personal Taurus energy. Everything that's physical, visible, stable, comfortable, your job, your relationships, your daily routine, right? That's this beautiful tree that you're imagining. Now, Scorpio season is asking you to look at the roots, look at what's underground, what's invisible, what's the foundation. Is there everything going on great down there? Are your roots full of nutrients and vitamins and beauty, or are your roots diseased and there are things that need to change to make your life better? Okay, if your roots are diseased, if they're tangled, if they're not getting the right nutrients, everything above ground, the tree suffers. Okay, so this super moon in Taurus is really shining a spotlight so bright you can't ignore it on what's been growing in the dark. And that's exactly where the magic happens, working with the darkness, working with the soil, working with the womb. Okay, so let me tell you what you might even have been feeling lately. Disrupted sleep, weird throat issues or headaches, feeling like something big is about to shift in your life, but you can't put your finger on it, feeling fatigued or lethargic. Any of these things could be happening around this Taurus supermoon. That's because this supermoon is literally pulling at your emotional tides, just like the moon pulls at the ocean. And this Scorpio season is saying, hey, remember that thing you buried 6 months ago during the Taurus new moon in April? Remember that pattern that you keep repeating that is no longer working for you or making you happy? Remember that fear you have that you keep pretending doesn't exist? Yeah, we're going to deal with that right now. It's Scorpio season. It's time to go. But here's what most people get wrong about shadow work. They think it's about digging up trauma and wallowing in it. No, real shadow work is about integration. It's about taking the parts of ourselves that we've rejected and turning them into our greatest strengths. So let me give you the exact process that I use and that I teach my clients, including my ladies in the Bloom Collective, our monthly moon membership. You can learn more about that below to work with this Taurus Scorpio energy for deep shadow work and transformation. So first, let's use this Taurus energy to get grounded. And if it helps you, I love to like, especially if I'm getting grounded, I'll like do a yoni mudra where I take my hands, do this upside down triangle, and then I'll put them literally on my womb space. You guys know that we work a lot with our womb here. And so literally, maybe you close your eyes, do the upside down triangle yoni mudra on your womb space if that feels safe and good for you to do so. And just listen to a few questions that I'm going to ask you and just key in to how it feels in your body, listening to what comes up for you, not resisting, not fighting whatever the information is, just listening to what comes up for you and going from there. I want you to ask yourself, what in my life looks stable, but actually feels shaky underneath? What in my life looks stable, but actually feels shaky underneath? This could be your relationships, your career, your self-image and self-worth. Whatever is coming up, allow it, don't resist it, don't fight it. And then go ahead and write it down. If you have a pen or paper handy, maybe throw it in your notes on your phone. Just go from there. So once you've written that down, next we're going to do a bit of Scorpio exploration. And we are going to investigate for each area you identified in your life where things look stable but feel shaky. We now go underground. We ask ourselves, what am I afraid to admit about this area of my life? What pattern keeps showing up that I pretend isn't there? What would I have to face if I was completely honest with myself about this part of my life? Go ahead again, journal, see what comes up for you with that. And now here's the integration part that gets really powerful. Take whatever it is that you've discovered and ask yourself, how is this shadow actually trying to protect me? What gift is hidden in this pattern? How can I honor this part of myself while choosing differently? Then you're going to do a physical release. Write what you're letting go of on paper. Write how you're going to do something differently this time, how you're going to choose something differently this time. Remember, Scorpio is all about transformation and change and evolution. How will you change? How will you show up differently for yourself and for others? And then you're going to release this in some way, either burn it, rip it apart, anything like that. And then take tangible action. Taurus loves action. Under this Taurus full moon, there needs to be some type of action to accompany this manifestation process that you are a part of. Okay. And now, in closing, remember, beautiful soul, your shadows are not your enemies. They're the parts of you that got buried because they weren't safe to express at some point in your life. But now you are strong enough to integrate them and you are ready to become whole. The universe is literally conspiring to help you step into your most authentic, most powerful self. Don't waste this cosmic gift. And on that note, I'll see you in the next video. And until then, keep doing the work. You've got this. And if you're interested in joining me on the next new moon to talk more about money and finance and investment and all things abundance during Scorpio season, go ahead and join the Bloom Collective. We're going to be diving deep, deep, deep into those topics within our group. I love you. Bye.